everybody doing? So, I've been doing this for a while, and every time my name gets called and I come out on the stage and I find my mark and I stare into the spotlights and I can't really see anybody, but I hear you going ape shit for me, I find myself thinking, what a thrill. What a thrill it must be for you folks to see me live. I have been doing this for a while, and I've gotten to the point where I can pretty much read an audience. And even, just like the people in the back, I know what you're thinking right now. You're thinking, well, geez, this guy's kind of hot. You people in the front who paid the big bucks, and thanks for doing that, you're thinking, Jesus, he's got big pores. But he's kind of hot. I'm stalling for time right now. I need to apologize to you. I've known that I was going to do this for a while. I've been crazy excited about coming here. I mean, really. But I've been working on a new set for a couple months. And I've written, every day I'm writing something, and man, I really like it. It's a great set. Most of it has to do with the Barbie movie, as it pertains to prostate health. But I got here tonight and I walked in and I was completely thrown off my game. I saw one of the most stunningly beautiful women that I've ever seen in my life. And I knew that as long as she was in the audience here, there was no way I was going to remember a bunch of new stuff. And so I'm going to go in a different direction here, and it's because of you. Yes, you in the brown hat. I know, isn't it terrific sitting up front? I started doing comedy with the USO back during the Civil War. And back in those days, we would have called you a dish. And when we did shows back then, when we did shows back then, if we saw a dish, we would stop the show. We'd point out the girl, and then we would serenade her. And we've kind of gotten away from that. But right now, I am so lost in your beauty, I can't think of anything else to do. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with the whole serenade bit. Thank you so much. I love this crowd. You're all coming over next week to our house for dinner. But so I am going to serenade you. Sir, you can kind of just go back to what you were doing. This is between me and your ex right now. So tell me, what's your favorite song? Yes. Oh, perfect. She said, if you didn't hear her, she said anything by Meatloaf. That's great. Right here in the old jukebox. All right, here we go. We met last night, and by the moon, I kissed those lips of yours. And by dawn, I had these crusty sores. So, yeah, you met all right. Actually, I can't do this. I can't do this. To be honest with you, and this is going to be crushing, I'm married. My wife's name is Beth. I wouldn't be doing this show if she was here. We would have gone in a completely different... We'd be talking Barbie and prostate health. But anyways, we've been married, well, as of last week, and we've been married 35 years, everybody. Thank you so much. Celebrated that last Sunday. We celebrated our 35th wedding anniversary. That same day, we celebrated her 47th birthday, so it was quite a deal. But let me tell you a little something else about my wife, just to kind of explain why you and I can't go off gallivanting right now. She's one of the strongest people I've ever met. About a year ago, she lost all of her fingers in a bandsaw accident at work. I love the fact that you guys don't laugh at that. It crushes my soul when audiences laugh at that, but yeah. So, anyways, but it was actually worse than what it sounds like. She lost one finger, and then she reached in to get that one, and she lost another one, and then one thing leads to another. 10 minutes later, she had no fingers at all, and she felt terrible about that. I mean, she lost her job, and she didn't know what she was going to do or how we were going to make up the money and all of that stuff. And I think of myself usually as somebody who has the right words at any particular moment. And I said to her, I said, honey, all we can do is keep our fingers crossed. That was so not the right words. But at any rate, just before Christmas this last year, miracle of miracles, she got a new job, stirring soup in a Cracker Barrel. And, when she started that, it was only like 40 hours a week. But she's up to 80 hours a week doing that, and which frees me up to do more writing, because as you can imagine, this kind of material doesn't just write itself. So, at any rate, somebody's got to wake up. I thought that was mine. I am just one incident like that away from my wife putting me into a home. That happens to me next week. I'm coming lima bean somewhere. So, but at any rate, so my wife right now, she's at home with our two special needs grandchildren. The oldest one is Tyrone, or Tim. We call him Tiny Tim. And he's 7, and he's one of the biggest-hearted kids you'd ever want to meet. Just the other day, he crawled up into my lap, and he said something to me that I will never, ever, ever forget. He looked into my eyes, and he said, he said, God bless us, everyone. That's what, yeah. Boy, that got me right there. And just about the time he said that, I heard this soft clanking. And I looked down, and there's my little granddaughter, Monique, or Molly, Mary, Mildred. And she was just tapping on the side of her iron lung. Which, she just does that for attention. Or when her oxygen's running low, I can't remember which, but at any rate, so when I left to come here tonight, my wife was standing in the doorway, and she was waving goodbye. And so, here I am, standing in front of you, and I know how upsetting this has got to be for you, but to be honest with you, I guess I'm a little pissed off at you right now for coming on to me this way. I don't know whether you woke up this morning and thought, hey, I think I'll try being a home wrecker, but whatever this is, it really needs to stop. Okay? we've taken that about as far as we can take it. So I grew up in the Detroit area, and I grew up in the neighborhood just like everybody else grows up in, and kids, we all had our dreams, we all had things that we wanted to do. Some of my friends wanted to be baseball or football players or firemen or stuff like that. I wanted to be an explorer. I wanted to be the first person to do something. I didn't care what it was. I just want to be the first. And, as time went by, we put men on the moon, and there were people crawling all over Everest, and it occurred to me that we're running out of first things to do. I'm never going to be able to do this, and I had to give up on that childhood dream. It was kind of sad, but until about 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with cancer. Okay? Oh, you don't have to get. Don't be quiet. I'm okay. Okay. Wait, shut up for a minute. Yeah, I'm okay. Right. So anyways, so I was diagnosed with cancer, and it was kind of a thing for a little while. And I went into the hospital, I had surgery, all of this stuff. I was in the hospital for a while. It was kind of miserable. But eventually, they sent me home, and they told me, just go home and just relax, get your strength back, don't do anything. I said, okay, I can do that. And when I left the hospital, I'm wearing like this bed sheet, and I've got this catheter in, I've got a hose, I've got this bag hanging. Nobody's trying to eat, are they? Okay, awesome. I've got this bag and all this stuff. And I went home, and I was home for like 15 minutes, and I just crashed on the couch. I was exhausted. I just was out like a light. My wife decided, hey, I'm going to catch up on some housework. She started up the Roomba machine, and the Roomba's going around. This is what they tell me, anyways. The Roomba's going around, and it comes by the couch, and it snags on my catheter hose. Hey, it's okay. It's not ideal, but I realized some old childhood dreams at that moment, because at that moment, I became the first person on the planet ever to be dragged backwards off a couch by a Roomba. Dick first.